I hope wherever you are safe and happy and well fed. We have an honorary guest today, Roland. He is an amazing analyst and
Anchoress, of
he knows
course.
lots of things. You're an anchorist. Oh, that's awesome. I've never been an anchorist before. Once a host of his own podcast, he is an internet star here to bring you updates for the launch of 59.
Oh, me?
Yeah, that's your turn.
Oh, well, we had the last week was very exciting. We had the release for our desktop, which is Mac, Windows, and Linux. Not in that order. It would be Windows, Mac, then Linux if we were going to take order of number of users. And then we also had a Firefox for Android 59 release in both cases. After a week, have we found anything? Well, we had the annual Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, blah, blah, CanSec West, Pwn2Own conference, and they found a vulnerability in Firefox. So last Friday, we released Firefox 59.01 for Android, Mac, Windows, and Linux. It looks like we might have a 59.02 for a rendering bug and to do with clear type and other bugs that I can't find. And the other, so that's desktop, and I don't think there's any other big issues. Of course, chime in if there is. And the other thing that we found on Firefox for Android 59 is that there is a campaign to send notifications about Pocket, and we've had, I'm going to say, about a dozen users complain on Google Play Store reviews that we should not be notifying them about Pocket. There is a bug. I will put this into the Etherpad about this Pocket notification that people don't like. I think that's my updates. We're still heading towards a release at the end of the month of Firefox for iOS 11. Oh, and Firefox for Fire TV 2.0 was released last week, but I mean, it's not a big change. That's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Roland.
Thank you. Sorry I have to exit this meeting every week at 9:15.
Oh, I love having you. When's the next mobile launch?
The next mobile launch is the end of the month for Firefox for iOS 11. Well, that's the schedule. It is public. I have put it on the Etherpad in the past.
Awesome. Should we have a SUMO day for iOS users?
Sure.
31st. That's around Easter is a holiday that happens.
Yeah, let's talk about that because the Europeans have holidays. I have holidays coming up for Easter, so
okay.
Let's not make a date yet.
Okay, cool. So I guess we'll look out for a schedule for the first week of April. If you are an iOS user, we'd love to have you to test out some of those new features coming out in iOS 11. Great. Thank you so much, Roland. It's awesome to have you. Your internet.
Well, I try to make it every week, but fail.
Oh no, you've been pretty consistent. But I'm not keeping attendance, so if you're watching this later,
you're not.
No. If you're watching this later and you're having some fun, shoot an email or an IRC chat. All right, so I'm gonna go through some of the updates here. We don't have any roundtable items, but we do have some cool news this week. Thank you, MKLL. YouTube TV support has landed on Firefox. So the status link there from the Twitter announcement has landed in Firefox. So check that out.
If you're one of the 4 people with a TV, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
TVs are awesome.
They are. I don't have cable anymore though. I remember when
you don't need cable. Even in the frozen north of Toronto and Vancouver, Canada, you get Netflix.
That's true.
And I'll be quiet now.
No, there's so much on the internet to stream. But if you're a YouTuber or you like YouTube TV, know that now you can watch it anywhere on your Firefox desktop. Okay, contributors of the week. Everyone who came to help on SUMO days. These members include MKLL, Jonatas, Saburo, Siam, Wim,
Woo!
Magno, Guardian Major, Zipix, I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong, Shihan, Senvir, Daniela, Catherine, and MKLL. Oh yeah, I recognize some new names here. Magno, welcome back. Wim, I hope your vacation was wonderful. Sabru, thank you so much for your help. Siam, I'm really looking forward to seeing your new Corello blog. Zipix, keep it open on the Wikipedia. Shahan and Senvir, good luck with your studies. Daniela, I hope you're doing well in Mexico. It's good to see you. It's the first couple days of the release this week. And Catherine, a new name, who will be trying out Sumo for a while and joining the diversity and inclusion team in a few weeks at Mozilla. So say hello to her. She is awesome. Orlando as well. Orlando is a new Firefox, Pound Firefox uh, FX helper on social. So thanks so much for your help. And Chris Elias, you have been nominated for Why We Participate in Support on Planet Mozilla from Subaru. So check out his blog article that came out in the last couple of days. In some of the reasons, it's funny we were talking about this before the meeting was recorded, like the reason some people like tech support and why we participate. So it's would you like to say a couple things about that, Chris?
Not really. It's just a result of a couple of things. Um, we've had issues with contributors arguing with users, and so it's good to remind everybody of why we participate. And I've been reading Simon Sinek. You know, his books start with why, so that was just inspired me to write that.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. It's really nice to see that coming out of the morale of the community. Sometimes when people get into arguments, you kind of get like a chip on your shoulder or a I don't know. Why does he get to say something like that and I deal with all these angry people and I don't get to speak my mind? So yeah, you're right. Arguing with users is not a good way to solve problems. So I'll read it, and I would love to absorb some of this too, because I know there's always stuff that I can learn. Even in my day-to-day life at home, like if I'm arguing with my dog over who's getting more water, that's a terrible example. If I used to live with my, anyway, less information the better. Chris, thank you so much for publishing this. I'll take a look at this. Would you be, I'm going to ask your permission later. Feel free to, you don't have to answer now, but could this be a featured article that I put in the social support newsletter? It's always great to have new users learning some
Sure.
latest tips and tricks. Awesome. Okay, cool. So Fahim, if you're watching this, we have a new article for our next social support email list. So watch out. So check that link out. I'm going to share it in IRC as well, just in case you missed the link to the Etherpad. Oh, hey, Orlando. Hey, welcome. It looks like you're in IRC now. I'm glad you found your way around. Great. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next update, unless there's any questions. Go contributors of the week. I'm going to give you a last round of applause. Okay. Knowledge base, we have I'm going to do these read-only updates from MKLL. An announcement was made on Mozilla Japan's community Slack about a Sumo article translations, and most of them have already been translated, but we're always looking for new contributors. Thank you, MKLL. Yeah, he and MKLL invited me to the Slack community. There is an English channel. Uh, if you are familiar with Japanese, that is a great another place to also speak in Japanese. Reach out to him on IRC. He's usually there. If you have any questions on how to gain access to that Slack community channel. Um, so unfortunately, Mihal is away from keyboard today, but he'll be able to join us again next week. I believe he's coming back on the tomorrow. So if you see him, no, Friday. So if you see him online, just know that he might be slow to respond while he's away. In the meantime, though, we do have some updates for the support forum. This last week, we had a behind the scenes AWS migration. So as you might have noticed, at the moment our site is in read-only mode. So we attempted to do some testing on Monday morning, PST, I believe that's 16:30 UTC, as well as a similar time slot this morning for about 4 hours. So if your access to support.mozilla.org currently is not letting you publish or add any new posts or logging in, do not be alarmed. It will be back up and running, I believe, 4 hours from 7:30, probably right before lunchtime, 11:30, 12 o'clock. So things are going pretty smooth. If you have any questions whatsoever, pound sumo dev ping Georgios, Giogos, if anything's going wrong or if you see anything that is not expected. So thanks. It's been a smooth transition. Thank you so much. There's also a published Reddit post for Sumo Day, resulting in some new contributors on both the Sumo forum and social support. Thank you very much for doing that. We tried this back in 57. We had some participants, I think we went up to 65 people, which was pretty awesome. And that also reflects in the Sumo Day participation numbers, which is pretty cool. We usually have a regular 40, 50 people. We were all the way up to 61 different people contributing in the last week. So that's been pretty cool. If you see any new names or faces, say hi. Show them all the ropes. If you are watching this and you are new and you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Our community is very friendly. I'll be in Pacific Standard Time. Mihal will be away until Friday. So if you are in a different time zone and you do not get an answer, please feel free to ping one of the OPs. They have, usually their time zone is listed in IRC, I think. Actually, I'm not sure. Let's check. Pretty sure if you do a right click on someone's name, it'll give you, no, it won't. So ignore what I said. Just if someone doesn't reply, just assume they're sleeping or away from their keyboard. They'll get back to you. And if they don't, ping an admin. Feel free. We'll do our best to get back to you. So some metrics onto social support. These are just some recognition for participating in Sumo Day. We had 10 people in the reply tool, actually 11, and about 13 of you out in the wild. So thank you so much to Christoph, Devin, Jonatas, Magno, Mick, Selim, Siam, Wim, and Denisha. Thank you so much for your help with answering those support questions in the reply tool. If this is something that you're interested in, please feel free to reach out. It takes about 2 weeks for on-ramping and onboarding to get you NDA'd, make sure you're fit their criteria and vouched in by another moderator. If that's something that interests you, please feel free to reach out. I can put the link in there for the guidelines. Casual supporters, also known as Army of Awesome. Orlando, Strange Man's Hand, Catherine, Previn, Gina K, Guardian, MKLL, Sin, and Samuel. 171 responses in the first week. That's pretty awesome. Thank you so much. If you're looking for our friends, I put a link in there for some examples on how to get started and different responses that you can use. So thanks so much for your participation in Sumo Day yesterday. We were few, but we were mighty. On the next Sumo Day, we'll probably do Thursday and Friday. Tuesdays tend to be a little bit busier for people's lives. So if you like to party and the goal is to have more people there, Thursdays and Fridays are going to be your days. If you are free on Tuesdays, I'll be here and others will be here as well. But it's up to you what day you are free. And everyone is very appreciative of you participating. Or if you are in line with why we contribute, check out Chris's blog post. So I have a couple of seconds here. I'm going to look into IRC. Tonis, thanks for joining. It looks like DST changes are not equal for all countries, 2 or 3 weeks difference. So mention that in the Etherpad. Etherpad times. Absolutely. We will put that in the Etherpad for the next week and make sure that information is in there. Orlando, thank you for your help. Looks like you are adding some great contributions to the community forum. So, that out. All right, so we have a couple of jokes. So these are stereotypical jokes that come in on tech support, and I'm happy to have an ethical debate around the different assumptions that these jokes make. If they're not funny, then they're not funny. These are just things that come to be the most popular ones on Pinterest at the moment. So the first one is a little girl asking her mom, "Mom, how come the computers are so smart?" And the mom says, "Because they listen to their motherboards." So just to kind of tickle on a tickle for motherboards and how moms are in charge of their kids and how you can be smart like your mom. So be awesome, be like a motherboard. As well as if you watch the Moz, I don't know if any of you get the newsletter, but there is um, a recent one that went out that was kind of talking about ditching your phone for a bit and to see if you react to your phone like Pavlov's psych it's a test that says the dog is, well, I won't even try to attempt it because it's not something I studied, but essentially it's, can you take a break from your phone? Next joke. This one is a picture of a lady who's maybe retired, a little bit older, more relaxed, and she's on the phone and she's next to her computer and she's saying, "Computer tech support? All right, I've removed all my cookies. Now what?" She's dumping the cookie jar in the trash can, nowhere near her computer, which is too bad because stereotypically, I think grandmas make pretty good cookies. Um, I'd rather eat them. But as you know, cookies can become corrupt. So if you are experiencing issues with corrupt pages or web pages are not displaying properly, as I know a lot of you have Windows machines with that clear type acceleration issue, know that clearing your cookies will only be a detriment to your stomach than your Firefox browser. Okay, and last one. This one's kind of morbid. If I'm ever on life support, unplug me and then plug me back in and see if that works. So, tech supporters are not always doctors. Know that life support needs to be plugged in if you need that to work. But I don't know, computers do strange things. Sometimes I don't even understand them. So it's really great to have that list of troubleshooting tips uh, for trying all of the basic troubleshooting tips for Firefox. There's an article I can send you if you're interested. I don't think in there we have turn your computer on or off, but I know that oftentimes if we can't figure it out, sometimes restarting after an update fixes things. So um, just a couple of jokes on what is it called? Satire. Anyway, I've probably bored you to tears. We're at 9:25. Are there any questions or looks like no problem. Thanks, Roland. He linked in an Etherpad. Okay, so MKL, you have linked in the Etherpad a information about. Here we go. Please add your name to the latest Mozilla Foundation campaign on Facebook's mishandling of over 50 million users' data. So there's the link in there. If you are interested in joining that Mozilla Foundation campaign, please do click that link. Do we have any other updates? Okay, so we have a couple of updates down here. Windows, Mac, Linux, and Android all have the .1 release for the security updates. And then 59.02 will fix the hardware. So we've already heard that. I apologize. This next update is a bug for Firefox 69 and Android. Using the drop in Android web view, the controls being overly large, the X button. So that bug number is 1430122. So if you have a user that is experiencing that issue, please do follow that bug. There's also a bug to add a globally turn off notifications to Firefox and Android. So there's a feature in Firefox Desktop 59 that came out where you can disable, or you can allow, block, or ask every time feature that you can turn that pop-up that comes up on the top left of the browser by default. Maybe you've moved it. I'm going to ask you, would you like to receive notifications from this website? So that would be ask every time. If you wanted to change that to block that question or block particular sites, there's also an option to put in a list of sites to allow and not allow. So that will be a bug that was fixed and will be applied to the next version of Android, Firefox for Android, in the Google Play Store. Pocket notifications were already. There was also another bug that was filed yesterday about Firefox crashing on the macOS startup screen. That I linked in the 59 summary. Let me grab that for you and put that in here. So some of these bugs have higher impacts than others. That's one thing that with time you will probably learn as you find more bugs or find different bugs, different impacts, different priorities happen when bugs are triaged. So keep an eye out if you ever see more than one person experiencing a bug when you are filing a bug for someone. Sometimes there are some opportunities to go back and see a fixed bug that can be a fixed bug, a long time fixed bug, and going back and finding people to let them know that it's been fixed. Sometimes they care, sometimes they don't. That's up to you. There's a Trello board that you can use, this feature where you can use the Mozilla API to notify you when a particular bug has been fixed, if you like to keep track of things like that. I think Noah does this in Respond, where he'll keep a couple of tweets in his queue waiting for a particular bug to be fixed, and he'll just send out a bulk message to all of them when things are fixed. So these are just some tech support habits or tasks that you can do for keeping people updated and using Firefox. I added a couple, so there's a tweet out, I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's a Firefox master password system has been poorly secured for the last 9 years. It's a Bleeping Computer article about the weak SHA-1 encryption used for the master password. Essentially, the article goes into detail about if someone has your physical address or your physical computer address, it's very easy to go in and hack that password. So make sure that's up to date. The article does suggest something about Lockbox. So Lockbox is a project being done where we are increasing the encryption for Firefox. Basically, it's a revamp of the Firefox password store. There is an extension in the link that I can share with you if you're interested in testing that. I know they can use all the testing that they need. It is a stronger encryption. It's similar to the encryption used for Firefox Sync. I think it's a little bit stronger though, but wait for some details on, I know that we're working on a response for that. Symantec, those certificates won't work in Firefox 60. I know that is still being worked on, so if you notice people who have insecure connections, ask them if they have a Symantec security certificate. NVIDIA crashes are still happening. That has been an issue the last couple of days, and then that last link was the one I originally was supposed to share. If there are other bugs that you see, please feel free to flag them up in IRC or make them known. we're happy to spread the word to the right product manager if you need some help finding the right CC person to CC on a bug that you filed. There's a lot of very experienced contributors in this SUMO community, so if you see something, say something. We're here to help. These are not in any particular order or any particular priorities. These are just things that have been observed. There's also a thread in the contributor forums. You can always look at the 59 release thread or start a new one if you see it's an ongoing issue, and just add some examples, and we'll keep an eye on it. So thank you so much. It is now 2 after. Are there any other questions in IRC before we say goodbye? I'm going to be silent. Honey add-on that causes Firefox performance degradation. Keep an eye on that. Okay, so there's an add-on called Honey that brings Firefox performance down. Will do. There is a statement for the Honey add-on. Your friend at johnhoney.com. They're still looking for more details on why that happens. So that is your contact. So if you use the Honey add-on, something to keep in mind. Yeah, in general, add-ons, if there's issues with add-ons, you generally want to go to the addons.mozilla.org page where you originally downloaded it, and there should be a link to a support site or a support contact. Most of the support that is done for add-ons is going to be in the add-on forum, the add-on discourse, or in the specified support link for that add-on. But yes, thank you for copying that information. We'll keep an eye on that as well. Any other questions before we go? Or all right, have fun, stay safe. We'll see you online, and hopefully you will continue to have an amazing 59 release. See you guys later.
All right, bye.